39s landing on 17. You're going to park down by the tower. I've got someone coming for you. We'll get them back up there in a bit. Roger, that's 39. Okay, John, L39 just circling the north, land on 17. The box is yours.
Moments away from turning your face over. John Mohr in the cockpit of that Stearman Biplane, designed and built back in 1942. Stearman Biplane, used by the United States Army Air Corps as a show control has cleared John into the aerobatic area. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Direct your attention to Airshow left. The smoke is on. John Mohr out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Stearman Biplane. He comes down our show line. He's accelerated up to about 85. He's up to 90 miles an hour. As John comes here, Airshow center. The indicator's on the range to 110 miles an hour. Look at John's got the smoke on. Tires barely rolling off the runway as he comes by. Nose comes up, and the wings go round, ladies and gentlemen. John Mohr is upside down at 100 feet. Now he comes on around, recovers right down in the treetops. Brings the nose up, snap roll, exit, stage right. Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen, that is John Mohr. Now as John swings front off that right side, what a spectacular start to his performance, ladies and gentlemen. John Mohr and the stock Stearman. He goes straight up, straight up, straight up. Reaches an altitude of about 330 feet. Kicks in left rudder. Hammerhead turnaround. Dives right back down. Recovers out here right down below the treetops. As John comes down the show line now, he breaks off and starts to climb, gaining a little bit of altitude out here off of Airshow Center. Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely spectacular beginning to his performance by John Mohr of Mohr Barnstorming. John, veteran airshow pilot, has been performing in the Stearman Biplane for over 20 seasons. Absolutely incredible performances as he flies that airplane down low. High performance is not the name of the game in the Stearman. I'll tell you what you're seeing is a high performance in the cockpit. John Mohr getting everything out of that Stearman and a lot more than Boeing or the Stearman designers ever dreamt were possible for this airplane to do. Right now, the smoke comes back on at 700 feet over Elkhart. John Mohr dives in the aerobatic area. He's going to reach the max speed of this airplane about 150 miles an hour as he comes to Airshow Center. As he comes down our show line, smoke on. John dives down to about 200 feet. Starts easing that stick back in his lap. Goes right on up and through the vertical. Flies it across the top. Look at that absolutely beautiful round 5/8 of a loop. Pushes forward on the stick. Executes a 1/2 roll on the 45-degree downline. John has shown us a classic maneuver called the Cuban 8. An 8 lying on its side. Flies the airplane right on around, duplicating on this end the 5/8 of a loop. As he reaches that position, establishes himself on a 45-degree downline, executes a 1/2 roll, and recovers directly at Airshow Center and about 75 feet off the ground. Now John goes straight on up into the vertical, flies it across the top. Look at that absolutely gorgeous Barnstormer's loop right at Airshow Center. Once again, using that energy. He's got that airplane up to about 130 miles an hour as he starts that maneuver. Goes right on up and around, flying the gigantic Gold Country barrel roll out there off of Airshow Center. Right on around the world's largest keg out there. And thinking about that, don't forget the Knights of Columbus do have their beer tent set up just directly behind us at Airshow Center. Now as John goes off of Airshow right, he goes straight up, quarter roll on the vertical. Pulls his head inside, Humpty Bump. Oh man, what a ride, John Mohr. As John sets up right now, coming on around out here at Airshow right, repositions again, goes absolutely straight up, flies it across the top, hangs on by his seatbelt, and recovers out here with a 1/2 roll, a 1/2 Cuban style turnaround out here at Airshow right. John dives into the aerobatic area, puts that Stearman right back down on treetop level, coming down our show line at about 30 feet, brings the nose up, wings go round, 4-point hesitation roll, 2, 3, and 4 points. The 4-point hesitation roll. John's airplane isn't completely stopped. 1942 Stearman Biplane. There is no inverted fuel system like all the rest of our airshow aircraft have. This aircraft relies strictly on gravity for the fuel to flow to that carburetor. And so occasionally we may hear that airplane skip a beat. Brings the airplane on 8-point hesitation roll. 3, 4 at the inverted. 5, 6, 7. You heard it run out of fuel there. Now as he recovers off that right end zone at about 20 feet off the runway. John sets up off that right end zone. Repositioning for his next series of maneuvers. Let's watch. He goes right on up again. Hangs it out, does a crop duster style turnaround, slides right back down on that left wing, and sets himself up again. Doing a great job of maintaining the energy of that airplane. Comes right on through. A lot of drag and not a lot of power. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, John Mohr gets absolutely everything that Stearman has to offer. Right now, he comes down our show line executing what is known as a nice old super slow. The entire length of the show line. Listen to that, get quiet. You see the plane shooting out the stack because the engine was no longer burning that smoke oil in the stack. It was shooting it out the side. And now as he comes around out here off of Airshow left, John repositions for his next series of maneuvers. Most of this will be repositioning for something else, as that have been us in the cockpit of that Stearman. But as John resets up off the left end zone, let's watch. He climbs to an altitude of about 300 feet off of Airshow left. Dives into the aerobatic area one more time. Taking advantage. Every time you notice John get going fast, he brings the stick back, lets it climb up a little bit, gets a little altitude, and then repositions for his next series of maneuvers. He's gaining a little altitude right now. He's going up to almost nosebleed altitude for John Mohr, about 600 feet. Now, gives us a burst of smoke. He's diving back into the aerobatic area. He's getting the airspeed built up. He's at about 130, 140 miles an hour, 150 as he dives into the aerobatic area here. That's a big head of steam for that stock Stearman as John goes straight on up. Rolls the airplane on the 4-point hesitation roll as he goes on up. Hangs it on the 45-degree up line and comes right on around, showing us what is known as the reverse Cuban 8, where instead of doing the 5/8 loop first, he does the 45-degree up line, executes a 1/2 4-point hesitation roll while going up on that 45-degree up line, milks that airplane for all it's worth, and comes right on around, executing the backside of 5/8 of a loop. A beautiful reverse Cuban 8 by John Mohr and the Stearman. Now he goes straight up, straight up, straight up. Flies it across the top, the square loop. Look at that as John comes across the top upside down. Now the ground gets really big in the windshield. And he recovers out here at 20 feet. Now as John goes off that right end zone, the airplane, the smoke is rolling off the runway, off that right end zone. Brings the nose up one more time. Goes straight up, straight up, straight up. Right there, John tilts his head back, lines himself up on his show line while upside down. Comes back down the show line on that 45-degree down line. Comes right back at us, ladies and gentlemen, from Airshow right. John Mohr, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the Stearman. Nose goes right on up into the vertical quarter roll. Oh, man. Right now, before the airplane starts to back up, he kicks in full left rudder. Comes right back down again. Executes a quarter roll on the way down. And look at that airplane recover out there about 5 feet off the runway. Now as John goes off Airshow left, climbing out at a nice 30-degree angle there. He'll reposition for his next move. Stage left. Oh, man. Flies it across the top with a split-ass turnaround after 1/2 snap. Dives the airplane right back down onto the runway environment out there. Nose comes up for the 8-sided loop. The giant stop sign in the sky. Now as John goes across the top upside down. 5, 6. The G-load is hard there. The ground is big. And the 8th point of the 8-sided loop. Wow, is that some kind of flying, ladies and gentlemen? That is John Mohr of Mohr Barnstorming.